Welcome to Cruise Kibitz, where we give you all the advice that you didn't ask for.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cruise Kibitz. I am Cheryl, also known as Sig Cruiser.
I am Charvon from Parker's on the Go.
And I am Keke from Team Reese Travels.
And together we are Cruise Kibitz. So today we have an exciting episode for you today. We are each going to give our top 3 reasons to cruise. I almost said our top 3 reasons to solo cruise, but yeah, with so many vacation options, you can go to a resort, you can just go to a city and travel, but we really love cruising. So we are going to give our top 3 reasons of why we love cruising over other types of vacations. So let's start with you, Keke. What's one reason that you love cruising?
So I will share the very first thing that made me fall in love with cruising from the very first cruise I took was just the ability to disconnect from everything. I mean, I went on, everybody had already warned me, like, hey, turn your phone off or you're going to get hit with a super high phone bill. And that was enough to convince me because I don't want no bills. So
Right.
turn my phone off, make sure I wasn't getting texts or phone calls or nothing like that. At that point, I don't know if they were using apps on the ship or not. I don't even recall that, but I remember I turned that phone off and just disconnected from everything. Didn't take work calls, didn't check emails, didn't go on social media. Disconnected from the things at home that you just need a break from sometimes. That was 7 days on the ship that I didn't have to worry about those things. So that was the initial thing that really made me fall in love with cruising. And although I don't disconnect as much, obviously, because we're doing social media now, but it's still one of the things that I love that I have that option. Even if I to this day, if I still want to decide that, hey, on day 3, that's gonna be a no social media day for me. Turn that phone off, I'm gonna be disconnected and I'm gonna be living in the moment. So
okay. Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Like, how is that working out for you today with with all that you're doing? So.
Not quite as well, but the option's still there. So
yes. All right.
What
about you, Charvon?
Yeah, I was going to say for with Keke, I totally agree with that because we just decided that on this last cruise that we're going to take, if we have multiple sea days, take at least one and disconnect. Just because you still want to be able to enjoy yourself because of course this is a job now. So, it's like social media and trying to keep up with everything and recording. So, we definitely take one day and just veg out and do nothing if we want to do nothing or do everything we want to do it, but just do it with each other. So I guess that goes into my first reason is just getting to spend that quality time, that one-on-one with my spouse, because you do it at home, but you do it with kids and home stuff and bills and dogs and cats and rabbits or whatever you got.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But when you have to change your atmosphere. Everything is still there if you don't.
Yeah. So, and that does go hand in hand with the disconnecting. So just being able to spend that one-on-one time and just literally just getting to know each other outside of everything else that's going on is a great way. And one of my top reasons why I love cruising so much.
Okay. I'll share one of mine. One of my reasons is, sunrises and sunsets. Now, granted, yes, they exist on land too. Something about, the sunrise and sunset on the ocean or on the seas. It just feels different. It's like you can just look out and stare at it for hours. And then I think just listening to the water as well. It's peaceful. There's like a calm that comes over you. So it's just so relaxing. And that also goes into what you're saying about, disconnecting and I would imagine even, spending time, with your spouse, if you're just watching the sunrises or sunsets. I mean, that's quality time well spent. And
Yes.
even as a solo person, it's just, nice and relaxing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what, Cheryl, you just made me think because I really love the sunsets and sunrises too.
Mhm.
And we live close to the beach, but it's lake water. So, but I'll still go to the beach sometime
Yeah.
and watch the sunrise and the sunset from there. And even that being a body of water feels different from doing it on a cruise. Like there's just something about being on the ship and seeing the ocean in front of you
Yep.
and watching the sunrise and the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Agreed. All right, so Kiki, we'll go back to you. So, what's another reason that one of your top reasons to cruise?
So, another reason that I love, and it kind of goes back to what Siobhan said about connecting with your spouse, because we have a child, being able to just drop him off at that kids club and enjoy our time together as adults like that is something that we don't get often on land. Like
Mhm.
we can drop him off. I mean, we have family members that of course we trust with him, but it's never an extended period of time. Like we can go on a ship and if we wanted to we can drop them at the kids club every night and have every night to ourselves. We don't do that but we could if we wanted to. But it's nice to just have an option for childcare that we trust, and that we're not worried about what's going on with him. We have an easy way to connect to the childcare room if we need to. It's just a one less stressor that we would have on land. So that's one of the
Then
things.
and I imagine it's a place where he's looking forward to going to.
Yes,
Yeah.
because other kids his age that he can play with, and I mean they're kids. They don't want to do all the same things that adults want to do.
Right.
They want to be with other kids.
Mhm.
So
Oh, wait till they're 16 and they can make the decision to just go on their own and you don't have to ask them, do they want to go? That was literally, it was like when we were cruising with Shay and she was just like, okay, I'll see you later. I'm going to see my friends. I was like, I don't have to worry about you. Like, I know you're going to be, and just go, have fun. We'll see you back. You have no set of curfew. We'll see you back when you're supposed to be back. But it's amazing when they make the decision to go. That's what lets you know, especially for teenagers
mhm.
on a cruise ship, that lets you know that they're actually enjoying themselves and they're enjoying like meeting other people.
Yeah.
Because as for Shay, she has a group chat of all the kids that she met on that cruise.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and they still communicate right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Are
So
they trying to plan cruises for the parents too?
yes, they are. They really are. Because they were like, well, they
See?
keep saying they got to cruise again, but I'm like, when are you guys ever going to just so happen be on the same cruise again? They were like, we're trying to work on that.
They're trying to plan their own group cruise.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
When I tell you these kids be spending your money when you ain't looking, I'm telling you.
Yes.
Oh goodness. All right, Siobhan. So what's another reason what's your top 10 or what are your top reasons to cruise?
Definitely just to get experience different cultures. So for us, it's about just going out and seeing different areas. When we cruise, we like to do a lot of the tours, and especially if it's our first time in port, and just getting to know where we are and kind of feed into that economy. So for us, it's definitely about learning where what people live like, what their day to day is. So um, it's like living in a history book. Like you actually get to go out instead of being in like social studies class. You know what I mean? You actually get to go out and see what people's everyday life is about, and just our favorite thing is like waking up, going to sleep and waking up. Like we'll get on the ship in Florida and be like, man, this time yesterday we were in Florida. Today we are in this different place that we've never been before. So experiencing different cultures and different people and getting to mingle and know local economy. We love all that stuff.
Now I have a question. Now when you well, for both of you, when you're going to different ports and especially ports that you've never been to before, do you like Google or do any research on the culture in advance, just to see, what you're going to experience or to get a little bit of history in advance?
I
Not for me.
Uh-huh.
I don't. I don't, and the only reason why I don't is because I feel like I know if we're going to take a local tour, I'd
Mhm.
rather get that history from somebody who actually knows and lives there, because anybody can put anything on it on the internet, or I don't want to be subjected to somebody else's
Mhm.
experience of it. So
Mhm.
I'd rather, it's kind of like a researching a ship. I'd rather just see it with my own eyes than just go based off of other people's opinions, because they can kind of, they can kind of shade you into thinking different things. So definitely, I
Yeah.
don't do the research.
Mhm.
Yep. I
Okay.
don't really either. I know most of the time if we book an excursion, we're booking it through the cruise line. So I already know more than likely we're not getting the, authentic cultural version of whatever experience we're going to do. But for the areas where we go and we just get off the ship and kind of walk around, most of the time my research comes after because I see something that I like, or I see something that interests me and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look that up when I get home. And then that's when I start to learn more about what I've already seen in person. So
Okay.
that's kind
Yeah,
of how it works.
and the reason I ask that because I keep saying that's something that I want to do. But it's like again, it's one of those time things. But I said, when I go to Newport, I want to look in advance to at least get a little bit of history, about the culture if it's something different or something that I'm unfamiliar with, just to know a little bit before I get there. But yeah, so maybe one day I'll find the time to actually do it. So all right, so I'll share another one of mine. Let me see, what can I share? Another reason that as a solo cruiser, that is my top reason to cruise, because as opposed to a land vacation, even if it's a resort or just traveling to another city, another country, I feel like I have more hours to enjoy myself in the environment.
Right.
Meaning, if it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm probably not going, well, not probably, I won't be out in the city or another country, by myself, just enjoying a show or enjoying, any activity. Whereas on the ship, I know that I can do that because it's, in an enclosed environment. I can stay as late as I want. And, still you have to be, uh, aware of your surroundings and take precautions. But I'm more safe on the ship than going to a strange company and country and staying out late at night. So I think that's one of the advantages of being on the cruise ship, being able to enjoy activities past dark. So
Yes.
uh,
Yep.
That's actually a really good one. And just like you said, just because you're probably going to do something you would not do at home for those specific
true.
reasons. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
Definitely. Yep.
All right. So, okay, we got one more round. We're going to do one more round. So, back to you, Kiki. What is another reason that you enjoy cruising over land vacations?
My last one actually is very similar to the one that Siobhan shared already about being able to see a different island every day. Like it's something about, like she said, you go to sleep in one place and you wake up somewhere else. And that all took place while I was sleeping in the bed, or hanging out on the deck, or eating pizza all night long when I shouldn't be. But it's like it's happening, and it's, I don't know, it's just amazing to me that God has put a way for us to be able to do that. I mean, it amazes me that we can just fly around in airplanes. So if I'm
Right.
being totally honest, that we can fly from spot to spot in a couple of hours and be across the country, that
That's funny.
amazes me. So being on a ship and being in these waters that are, so deep and so far that you can't even see to the edge, but yet I can still go to sleep and wake up and be somewhere else. Like it's just amazes me, and it's something that I enjoy a lot, and I don't know if I'll ever get enough of it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I do have a follow up question to that because this is, well, I got a couple of follow up questions. So, how do you feel about is there enough time in the ports when you're going to all these different, ports that you've never been to before? Do you feel like you have enough time to experience, the port, the different country or the different island?
I always leave wishing I had more time. I
Uh-huh.
think the only time I ever didn't feel like that was when we were just in Aruba, and that's because we were there until like 8 o'clock at night, and so we had longer there. So I was able to go and do an excursion, come back, and then still explore Aruba after that. But most of the time, I feel like that doesn't happen very often for my cruises. Most of the time, we're leaving 5 o'clock in the evening, and I never feel like that's enough time. What I want to do is get on one of these sailings where the ship stays overnight somewhere,
Yeah.
really get a good amount of time, but I haven't experienced that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then my other follow up question, and Siobhan, just don't go off, all right?
Okay.
Because sometimes people say, when you're cruising to these different islands or locations, you're not really traveling because you're not there long enough in another country or another island to be really considered a traveler. You didn't really travel there because you didn't stay long enough. What do you think about that?
Is this question for me or for Charvon?
Sure.
Wait a minute. Was it Keke that I needed to worry about?
Girl.
She don't want it for me. She don't want it for me.
Okay, let me go to Keke first. What do you think about these people that say that?
I think that no matter what you do or how you do it, people are going to have something to say. People aren't going to be satisfied. Whatever you did wasn't good enough, didn't go far enough, didn't stay long enough, didn't do it the way they would have done it, so it ain't right. And to that, I just say, mind your business. If you don't like it, don't like it. If you don't want to try it, don't try it. But don't talk down on other people and the way that they choose to travel. People say traveling across the U.S. ain't travel. Y'all know I go anywhere. I'm going somewhere every month. I don't care if it's to the next state, and I'm calling it travel because it's not my home. So that's how I feel. I think that people are always going to have something to say, and I just, drink water and mind my business and do what I want to do.
Okay. I 100% agree with everything you said. And you know how people always say you can't count anybody else's pocket? You can't count my vacation for me. Like how I vacation is how I vacation. And if I didn't, like she said, if I didn't wake up there and I don't live there and I'm visiting and it took me time to get there, I'm traveling. That's the definition of traveling.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter to me. At the end of the day, my cruise my way. And I travel the way I like to travel, and cruising just has my heart. So, say what you want to say, but I ain't home while you was at work. I just know that.
And
and I feel exactly the same way. To me, it's just so funny. And I ask that because that's legitimately things that I've heard or things that I've read, like comments in, different posts or whatever. Like people are trying to define what travel is as if they wrote the Bible on what travel is and criteria on whether you're traveling or not.
Right.
And for me, I just laugh it off. I mean, because you're not going to tell me, nobody's going to tell me, what traveling is or what it is not. And especially, unless somebody else is paying for my vacation.
Hello.
I'm going to the way that I want. So, but I just wanted to, see how you guys felt.
Yeah. I would want, like, where does it stop then? Like, when does it become travel? People take 14-day transatlantic cruises. Are those not travel? Like, do they not travel? People take month-long cruises. Is there a time limit to which we can now call this travel? Like, I would have so many questions for a person.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, even when I go to church and I know when they get ready to leave and the pastor said, he praying for everybody traveling these highways and byways, that's traveling. The highways and byways. So I'm saying the seaways, I'm traveling. Don't mind my business, okay?
Exactly. Ooh, that was a hot button topic. We could have made a whole episode out of that.
Are we doing hot topics for our next cruise chat?
Yeah.
I just thought of it, when Keke said that. But okay, so moving right along. Okay, so I think we're on number 3 for Charvon. What's your top reason to cruise?
Meeting new people. And that's just who I am. I love meeting people. I love hearing people's stories. I like just getting to know why people travel and what inspired them to do so. Um, Travel. I get. I just really like meeting people and just kind of like just sitting down and having conversations. And if you become lifelong friends afterwards, that's great. And if I see you on the high seas, that's also great. But just being in that melting pot of people, I think is amazing. And like they always say on the ship, you probably never gonna see these people again. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Uh-huh. Oh goodness. All right. So I think we're down to me on my last reason, and I'm going to go with the food experience, and especially again being gluten intolerant. A lot of times at home, I experience the same foods, especially if I'm cooking it myself. There's only so much that I do, simple protein and vegetable, and that's about it. So on a cruise ship, I have the chance to experience different meals, different cuisines, all gluten free, and I don't have to worry about trying to prepare it myself, and putting finding all these different ingredients. It's a real treat, especially um, with being gluten free, the variety that I'm able to come across, the new things that I'm able to try, and the new things that I'm able to pick out on the menu just to see what it would taste like if they made it gluten free. So yes, I'm gonna go with the food options, on the ships. So.
Now, have you ever had an experience where you were concerned about food not being properly prepared or actually having a reaction to something that was supposed to be gluten free and wasn't?
Yeah, so I think in the beginning, now when I first started cruising again, 2016, that was the first time that I was cruising with being gluten intolerant. I think that first probably year or first few cruises, maybe 4 or so, I was very concerned because and I'm not there's a condition that's worse than mine. I'm just gluten intolerant. There's people who are celiac that are
Yeah.
way worse than me. A simple cross contamination can send them to the hospital. So that's why they like you hear them say I don't eat off of buffets, because people will take the same serving
Yep.
spoon and put it across different dishes. So I was concerned, but over time, especially number one, especially I got used to Carnival, and I've never been what we call glutened on Carnival, so I've never had an experience. So that made me more comfortable. And then just over time, since 2016, now there you see more gluten-free options in restaurants, even on land. So the ships, they're becoming more comfortable with more people who have gluten sensitivity. So there are more options, and they are aware of how to prepare it, and they're more knowledgeable. And when they're knowledgeable, that makes you feel comfortable. If I go into a restaurant, or if I talk to someone on a ship, and well, is this gluten free? And they're like, "What's gluten?" That's not.
Oh, no,
That's
no,
not
oh no.
Red
That's a
flag. Red flag.
Yeah.
that's not the conversation.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. If I have to explain it to you, especially if you work in the food industry, and I have to
Yeah.
explain it to you, I'm like, okay, never mind. I'll just get I'll
Yeah.
just get a steak and broccoli.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
But
would be concerning now to come across someone that like in the food industry that wasn't, familiar with at least the term gluten free. Like even
yeah,
if they don't do it.
it actually depends. I mean, it's getting fewer to where it's fewer and fewer people, but it depends on the type of restaurant.
Okay.
If it's a restaurant that doesn't have gluten free options, but there are certain items that are naturally gluten free. And when people don't know that or recognize that, then yeah, that makes me a little hesitant. But if it's a restaurant that has gluten-free options on the menu, then I'm comfortable. And especially a lot of ships now are labeling things gluten-free. So it's like as we progress, it's like they're progressing in not only gluten allergens, but a lot of different food allergens. They're starting to label them more now, so it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, ladies. Well, I think we've given our top 3 reasons, and we all had different reasons. Wow, that was interesting. All right, so I think that's going to be it for us today. So, are we getting ready? Are we calling this a podcast right now?
I think we can call it a podcast.
Only if you are, Cheryl.
Right.
Before I call it a podcast, I'm going to ask Keke, how can people get in touch with us if they have any questions or, any comments?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So you can always reach out to us on Instagram at the Cruise Kibitz Instagram page. You can DM us, or you can DM either of our individual page. So that's Team Reach Travels, Sig Cruiser, or Parkers on the Go. You can also reach out to us via email at cruisekibitz@gmail.com. You can always comment on one of the videos on our YouTube channel, which if you are listening on the podcast right now, make sure you check out the YouTube channel too, where you can see the full podcast in video. So
yes.
Those are the ways you can get a hold of us. I don't think I missed any, did I?
No.
I think you did
good. Okay. All right.
All right. So you know what, ladies?
What?
I'm listening.
I think we're going to call this a podcast.
All right.
All right. Happy cruising.
Happy cruising.